Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is I Love You Say It Back. It's the podcast on a now Thursday. Turn me on up. Hey. Oh, baby. Hit the claps. Here we go. On a beautiful Thursday, and I will still consider this beautiful because I understand we are, over the weekend we saw temperatures of like 103, 104, so it's not going to be beautiful for too much longer, but for the time being, it is beautiful, especially at the time that we're recording this very late. We're putting this out in a couple hours. Glad you're with us. I Love You Say It Back. It's the podcast. I'm your host, Vic D. So glad you're with us. This show is huge. This is a major show. Going to be covering a lot of things, and we're going to be going through this a little bit quickly. So I'm hoping, I always say this too, I'm like, I'm going to make this a quick episode. It always ends up being anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes, but do have some things I want to hit on. So there's a conversation that I was having with my buddy, and I'll tell you this whole story, how it came about, but I was out with one of my gay homies and one of my straight homies. And we had a conversation about liking men is not the most gay thing that you can do. There's other things that guys do that are way more gay than liking men. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, or if it doesn't make sense, when I give you the list, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I understand exactly what that means. So we'll get into that. I also wanted to get into, I talked about this on my Instagram, and I'm knocking a big bucket list item. I guess I can say now tomorrow, because this is coming out Thursday morning, and I'll tell you what that is. We'll just leave it at that, because I feel like I can't tell you what it is now without elaborating on why it's so special and why it's so cool and why it's so exciting for me. So we'll talk about that. Big breaking news on a big bucket list. We all have our bucket list, right? So this is a big one off the list for me. Got your fun facts here in case you didn't know. Got June is also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, along with Pride Month. So we're going to be talking about all these things. Have you ever been or followed someone on social media and you realize you're like, oh yeah, I love this person, I love following them, or okay, so I don't know how many of you are going to know this person, but I found out that this person was it wasn't a real it was all an act, right? In other words, it's like me coming on here and preaching about a certain thing, and then you're like, yeah, no, this guy's just lying about everything. And it's just like, you'd be a little bit devastated because you invest in these people. There's a Instagram person that I'm a big fan of that I found out was it was all like a fake thing. And I'm low-key devastated. And I think a lot of us would be. Got your Wednesday Wisdom. Absolutely incredible conversation for 2025. I loved it. So we'll get into that. And of course, I got your trivia. So let's get into it. Actually, before we do, make sure you follow us on all socials at ILY Say It Back Pod. If you're not following the podcast, please and thank you at ILY Say It Back Pod. I am at Vic D Radio if you haven't done that. Also, please be sure to subscribe to wherever you listen. If you listen on Spotify, hit the subscribe button. If you listen on Apple, hit the subscribe button. If you listen on iHeart, if you listen wherever you listen, please subscribe, and if you can, leave a comment, leave a review, leave a stars, 5 stars, 3 stars, 1 star, whatever it is. And same on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Trying to growing that. And so thank you in advance for that. I Love You Say It Back. Let's get into today's show. I'm so glad you're with us. This is a fun one that we had. I had a lot of fun. Every show kind of comes together in particular ways. If you came out to the content mixer that we had a couple weeks ago, I was like, content is everywhere. That's one of the things that I really pushed. I was like, for anybody who's really trying to dive or get into this thing, I was like, you got to look at the world different. You got to look at the world as everything is content. There's an opportunity to create a topic. There's an opportunity to create a video. There's an opportunity to create, period, everywhere. You just got to look for the right things. And content is everywhere. For example, First of all, actually, let me start this. Happy Pride Month. Shout out to all the gay homies, all the LGBTQ plus and all that. So forgive me if I didn't mention one of them and I got it wrong because they keep adding those things, but you're welcome here. And also, June is Mental Health Awareness Month. We celebrate that too. I also heard it was Veterans Mental Health Awareness Month. We celebrate that too. So I guess I almost wanted to start with the shut the fuck up, because every time that I see something about like, hey, happy Pride Month, it's like, well, did you know that it's also mental health? Yeah. We're celebrating all of them and we're going to talk about all of them. So shout out to everybody. If you're a veteran, we love you. If you're gay, if you're lesbian, we love you. If you are a man who is going through mental health issues, this is something that I've been on for a very long time. I even got in trouble in my radio job for talking about this. I brought my therapist on. I don't know if I've told this story. I brought my therapist on the radio, damn near got fired. It was like the closest I ever came to getting fired, but big advocate for mental health, men's mental health. So we're going to talk about all that stuff today. But so I was having this conversation. I was telling the story. I was out with a good buddy of mine who happens to be gay. I was out with another buddy of mine who is not. And, you know, you joke around, I have great relationships with everybody. So I'm a people person. So we're out, and one of my friends made a joke about like, hey, or no, they brought up, they're like, hey, let's go grab another drink. I was like, I'm down. Well, my buddy's like, you know, I'm not drinking tonight. I was like, and I looked over to my gay homie and I was like, hey, this guy being sober tonight is more gay than you liking men. So we just laughed. We had a great, like, grand old time. And I was like, haha, you know, whatever. Like, that's way more, you know, gay than liking men. So we put together this list. And when I tell you that I've been working on this list, probably since that happened, and I've consulted with men, women, children, everybody that I can talk to about this. Absolutely hilarious. So we put together the top 10 things in no particular order. These are just 10 things that are more gay than liking men. Hit it. Here we go. This is going to make sense when I give you the first one. We'll start with, you ever bite into something? You ever seen a dude bite into something and they're like, ooh, too spicy? That's more gay than liking men. You ever, bros asking, hey, you want to go do brunch? You want to go do brunch, bro? Like, hey, yeah, guys going out for brunch? Way more gay than liking men. I'm reading this one right here and I can't freaking for the life of me oh, here it is. This one for sure. Two guys or a group of guys going for sushi. Come on, brother. Guys going for sushi. First of all, this one's easy for me because I just don't like sushi, period. But guys going for sushi. Yeah, you want to go for sushi? Yeah, sure thing. Let's go for sushi. This one, I don't want to say it yet because it's going to relate with what I have coming up for my breaking news as far as like bucket listing. So we'll save that one for later. How about this one? Going out for chips and like drinks to like a Mexican restaurant and guys ordering chips and margaritas. Oh, I'll have a marg. No, you won't. No, you won't. Ordering a marg. And if you say marg too, that bonus points. Ordering a marg, chips and sauce on a marg, way more gay than liking men. How about this one? Oh my gosh. This one I was proud of because I've seen it. I've done it a couple times, but it's only a couple times. I'm a very loud, obnoxious sneezer. But listen, have you ever seen a guy try to hold in a sneeze and they go, oh, and they're like, because it's usually two. Woo. That's way more gay than liking men. How about when you're eating soup and you go like, and blowing on soup that's way too hot? I think that was one of the first ones that we came up with. Ooh. It's way too hot. Way too hot. That's way more gay than liking men. Taking a bath. Taking a bath. Come on, fellas. Taking a bath. Okay, here's one. And I didn't want to talk about it. I've been doing it for a couple weeks and I'm not proud of it. But I got asked to fill in my buddy's like softball team. And I've been going out there pretty consistently. Again, I'm not proud of it. But here's a big one. Listen to this. Dudes who take softball very seriously. I'm talking about the dudes who go out there and they have like 2 bats sticking out of their fucking bag. 2 bags sticking out of their bag. They've got a giant thing. They've got the slides on. They've got the glasses. And they're like, yeah, just out here hitting dingers. And I'm like, dog, you're 47 years old. You're bragging about hitting dingers over the fence when they're literally teeing it up to you. That bugs me. Dudes who take softball way too serious, that's way more gay than liking men. And the last one was inspired by my homie because I actually invited him to come be a part. I was like, hey, come on, let's have this conversation. And he's like, fun, I'll do it. When is it? And I was like, well, tonight. And he's like, oh, it's not on my calendar. I can't do it if it's not on my calendar. I was like, Eddie, that is so gay. And he's like, I know, it's a gay thing. And I was like, planning things, being a planner, being meticulous about your plans is way more gay than liking men. So there you go. That's our list. Things that are, because, you know, being gay is not that gay. It just happens to like guys. Okay, cool. Or girls who like girls, whatever. But there's things that guys do. And conversely, there are gay things that aren't gay. And we made a quick list of that. Conversely, there are this is things straight guys do that are gay, but that aren't really gay. And I'll give you an example. Hitting the showers after sports. Hitting the showers after sports. You talking about like a whole team of naked men? That's not gay. Here's another one. Slapping your boy on the butt. Saying good game. Saying, hey, nice shot at the golf course. I can't tell you every Sunday how many butts I slap playing baseball with the boys. That's not gay. Or how about this? Hugging your bros goodbye or saying I love you. Like it, and I'm not talking about like a hey, pop it in, give me a handshake, and I'm gonna come around and give you a no. I'm talking about like a good embrace and saying, all right, bro, love you. Not gay. So there you go. If you have anything that you want to add to this list, please feel free to hit me up. But yeah, that list was hilarious. Gay things or things that are way more gay than liking men. So that one was a fun one to put together. Again, we hit up a lot of people to put that one together, and that was a joy. I also, since we talked about the bringing up the baseball thing, like how many butts I slap, I just want to say our baseball team, the Tomateros, made it to the finals. And I'm not gonna talk about them too much. I just want to tell you the craziest story about the season. We come out of the gates and we're on fire. We win the first 5 games of the season, and we are looking like, your confidence is sky high. Your confidence is like through the roof. We're never gonna lose a single game. We're gonna be great. We're going to the championship, no doubt. Folks, you know what we do next? We fuck around and lose 5 games in a row. Win 5, one of the last undefeated teams, and then we lose 5 in a row. What are we doing? Hey, pick a struggle. Are you going to be good or are you going to be bad? Because we're all in on one or the other. We're either winning all of them or we're losing all of them. And I don't know if this had anything to do with it. Ask any baseball player in your life. You're superstitious. We got new uniforms, and they were this beautiful black uniform. I love it because black is very slimming, and you look very skinty. And that's when I think we went on that losing streak. However, we got a sponsor. The sponsor got us some new white uniforms, and to be honest, we preferred the black ones because they pop more. You're wearing your white pants, you're wearing your black shirt, you look great. Well, we warmed the first game because we wanted to take a picture for the sponsor. Well, we happened to win, and this happened to be the last game of the season. Now, because we had gotten off to such a good start in the beginning, we qualified for the playoffs. We won the last game, and then we're like, all right, well, we just broke a 5-game losing streak with these white ones. Let's go ahead and just ride with them. Let's see what happens. Well, we won the last one. We won our first playoff game. Okay, we're like, yeah, that's funny, whatever. In comeback fashion. So then we wear them again. We're like, all right, well, now something's going on. Now we're cooking. This is where the superstition thing kicks in. I was like, all right, are these white uniforms really going to continue to do anything for us? So we wear them and we win our next playoff game. We won this weekend. I think it was like 14-4 or something like that. So now we're in the championship. So won 5 in a row, lost 5 in a row, and now we're at 3 in a row. Hopefully, if the trend keeps up, we should be winning another championship just because it goes in streaks, right? 5 in a row, lose 5 in a row, and now we have 2 more games that we get to win. We just got to win one. And if you guys want to come out, hey, hit me up. We play this Sunday at 10 a.m. And if you guys want to come out, it's open to the public. It's free. It's fun. I know every time I post, they're like, why don't you ever tell us where we're playing? We're playing at, I believe, I don't know what they're called, the Era Fields, the fields that are behind like Target on Stockdale and the Riverwalk. There's a big field in the back. That's where we're playing Sunday, 10 a.m. Now you know. So if you listen to the podcast, you know. All right, folks. I've got and this is already, I wanted to be so much quicker with this podcast, but I don't care. So after this show, I've got the next probably 48 to 72 hours are going to be an absolute whirlwind. And I'm knocking a big bucket list item off of my bucket list. I don't even know how to say that. I made an IG story and I was like, how do you even word this? I'm knocking a big one off the list. And before I tell you exactly what it is, let me tell you the story behind it. So during COVID, obviously I was working in radio. We never stopped working. I know a lot of jobs stopped working and all that stuff, but we kept doing our show. We were very good about social distancing and cleaning everything and blah, blah, blah. But I'm glad we didn't stop working. I think I would have lost my mind. I know a lot of people don't have the luxury or benefit, but I love working and I love creating stuff. So we were still able to do the show. However, concerts, which when you work in radio, there's always a concert coming up. There's always something like, hey, whether it's next week or next month or in 3 months or in 6 months, there's always something to look forward to. So during COVID, when that stops, it kind of like a shock to your system. There's no concert. So what I started doing is I started watching concerts on YouTube, Vivo. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. You miss the concerts, you miss the excitement, you miss live music. And I started watching I just listened to particular songs. And one of the songs that I listened to was Yellow by Coldplay. And they were in Brazil. And the video, by the way, they do stadiums. They do what Kenny Chesney does, right? They do stadiums. They don't do like arenas or anything like that. So long story short, I watch Coldplay. They're in Brazil. They do Yellow. And it is one of the most beautiful experiences that I've had in my entire life. And I'm talking about, I was just watching on YouTube. So ever since then, mind you, that was 5 years ago now, that I've been wanting to see Coldplay in concert. And on Friday, knocking that off the bucket list. After the show, I'm heading straight over to Vegas. Actually tomorrow, I got to get some sleep before it's not safe to drive. So I'm going to be driving to Vegas. They're going to be playing at Allegiant where the Raiders play. And I can't, I'm trying to describe it the best way I can. It's like, I know I'm excited and I know it's hit me already. Like, oh my gosh, you're really doing this. I'm going with my best friend, C's. And we bounced the idea around of like actually going and yes and no. And it's like last minute, it was just like, you know what, bro? Like, like, how many opportunities are we really going to get to do this? Let's just do it. So we did it. And I could not be, like I said, I know it's hit me. I know I'm excited, but I'm going to tell you something about me. And I talked about this again on Instagram, which, by the way, if you're not following, at Victory Radio, I'm not sad things don't make me cry. Breakups, like certain things about breakups will or whatever, but in general, like I can hold it together pretty good. Deaths, unless it's somebody really close, there's always exceptions, right? Like my grandma passed, I was crying obviously, but what makes me cry is like overwhelming joy. And I have this theory that it's not because I'm sad, or it's not, sometimes I can't find the words to express happiness or beauty that I'm seeing or experiencing. So it comes out not as words, not as any other emotion, but they come out as like happy tears. And a couple nights ago, I was going through, and they played at Stanford. So I was watching, which, if you know by now, like I'm a big Stanford fan. I love Stanford University. I wish I could have gotten in. It just wasn't even close to smart enough, sweetheart. But I love the nerds, and I love their campus. I'll go on vacation and just go to their campus. Anyways, they played Stanford Stadium last weekend, and I was watching videos of that on YouTube, and I just was overwhelmed. I was in bed like this. I was like, you know how you watch your phone and you're just like, I was sobbing. I was crying. I was crying so hard, but it was the kind of crying that, like, I realized that I was making an ugly face, but obviously I'm in my room by myself. Like, I don't care. And that's beautiful. That's living, baby. When they talk about the little things in life, those are the little things that make you feel alive, the little things that make you feel. I love feeling when I go to nature, when I go hiking, if there's a beautiful, like a mountain or greenery or a forest or a rain or something, like, I tell people, like, I was like, bro, I cried. And they're like, what the hell? Why do you cry? And I'm like, it's happiness. It's overwhelming happiness. And I just know that with song lyrics, the way I am about these songs, the way I am about their music, the way I am about the whole experience and what I've seen, it's just like, I know Yellow's going to come on, and A Sky Full of Stars is going to come on, and I'm going to be singing my little heart out, and I'm going to take you guys along on the joy, on the ride, on the joy as much as I can. So if you guys want to follow along, I'm going to be doing my best to get as much content as I can on this trip. I always say that, and when it comes to concerts and everything, I always end up coming up a little bit short, but I for sure want to catch a lot of content on this one. And so there you go. Breaking news. I'm going to go see Coldplay in Las Vegas and knocking it off of my bucket list finally in 2025. Get ready. There's going to be tears. Happy tears. So there you go. Now you know. Let's get into your fun facts here in case you didn't know. If you're new to the program, that's exactly what it is. Fun facts in case you didn't know. Here we go. In case you didn't know, a group of zebras is called a dazzle. In case you didn't know, a dazzle. I got some homies there. Look at those dazzlers. In case you didn't know, the average human life expectancy, if you broke it down to seconds, is 2.4 billion seconds. In case you didn't know. And finally tonight, in case you didn't know, this is relevant to me and anybody who struggles with their sleep. Listen to this. In case you didn't know, lack of sleep can actually affect your ability to do basic math. What's 2 plus 2? 21. In case you didn't know. Not great. It's not great news. Oh, I had these pulled up on my computer. I didn't bring my computer in. But June is men's mental health awareness month, and I wanted to speak to. I understand our audience is largely female, but maybe you have a man in your life. Maybe you have somebody in your life who struggles with this. Now, it is men's mental health awareness, but of course, there is anybody who suffers from this. We're just focusing on the men this particular month, but I wanted to share a couple of big facts that you may not be aware of. And the reason why we talk about men's mental health in this particular case is because men are actually less likely to like seek out help. And I'm going to read you these stats right here. So, June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm going to read you a couple stats. 1 in 10 men experience depression or anxiety, and less than half receive treatment. That's a big thing. I think it's normal for anybody to feel certain things, anxiety, depression. And I've always said this, like, I've experienced those things. I don't think I suffer from them. But to say that we haven't experienced, and sometimes it goes for a couple of days, sometimes a couple of weeks. But I'm telling you, there are people, and in those days and in those weeks, I feel like shit. I feel horrible. I feel like my world is crumbling. I feel like I have no voice. I feel like I have no guidance. I feel like I don't know I feel like I'm doing everything wrong in life. Every choice that I've made, did I leave my job? You question your relationships? You question everything. And it does not feel good. Now, I'm a person who goes through that stuff. I don't consider myself someone who has a chronic situation. Certain things put me in those situations. But for a lot of guys, they constantly live with that. And less than half receive help. So I guess the big picture of this whole thing is that I'm hoping that if you have a man in your life, or if you are a man who's listening to this right now and you experience these things and you live with these things day to day, please seek help, because the help is out there. I've gone to therapy when it hasn't been that severe, but the feeling of relief or simply just not keeping something bottled in is incredible. 80% of men are more likely to commit suicide, making up nearly 80% of all suicide cases. So men are way more likely to commit it. I don't like the S word, but in this situation, I think it's important to mention it. But yeah, men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide, and 80% of all cases are men. So I think it just goes back to not seeking the help. We try to keep everything bottled in, and we talk about this, or we talk about, no, you got to be a macho man. You got to hold it in. You got to work through it. That's so antiquated, because yeah, you can, but why would you if there's absolute help? And it's okay to seek it. 40% of men, listen to this, 40% of men have never spoken to anyone about their mental health. So I think it all just kind of comes back to the same thing. And look, everybody's upbringings are completely different. I'm lucky that I grew up in a supportive family who I feel like if I were to go through anything, it was never instilled in me to some extent. You got to be a man. You're a man, handle it, handle your business, do what you got to do. But also, if I was going through something and I needed help in whatever situation, it was never like, don't do it. Hey, figure it out. So I'm very lucky that I feel like I got support in that. But I understand that I'm not everybody, and not everybody gets that support. Not everybody gets that love. Not everybody gets that encouragement. So in a way, I feel like I hope that this platform that we're creating, any man who's struggling and feeling like, hey, man, I can't talk about this because my dad or my family or my grandpa or my, people in my family or my friends or at my job, they tell me to suck it up. You got to be a man about it. That's a reality a lot. And it sounds stupid. You're probably listening, you're like, Vic, that's ridiculous and antiquated. It's ridiculous and antiquated, but it's real life for a lot of people. So I'm here to tell you, find help, seek help. It's out there, and you're not alone. I mean, I feel like one thing that I've never liked about doing and talk about these things is that I feel like so many words come in one ear and out the other, and I don't like that. I just don't know what words I can positively use to express how easy and how accessible it is to get help, and how one little thing can go a very long way. This doesn't mean, hey, sign up for therapy. You're going to go take baby steps. The important thing is to take a step, and there is help. And I feel like a lot of times guys feel like, hey, maybe there isn't. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe that's just not my thing. Maybe that's for everybody else. Come on, bro. So big love to anybody who's struggling. And of course, this goes for men, women, anybody who's struggling with this. So we love you. It's the name of the podcast. I love you. Say it back. We're here for you. So hopefully that if we can help one person, even if they want to reach out, send a DM and have a conversation, here for you, brother. In 2025, so many of us, I mean, maybe I'm that for somebody out there. We feel like we know the people that we follow on Instagram. You feel like you know the characters, the personalities of the people who have Instagram pages, YouTube pages, TikTok pages. Have you ever been fooled by not an influencer, but a personality, right? There's a character on the internet. I don't know how many of you guys know her, but she is one of the most charming personalities in social media on Instagram. The page is called My Foreign Roommate. And the gist of the whole page is it's this girl who got a foreign roommate, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. She got a foreign roommate. I don't know where from, but she talks with this accent and it's very charming. It's very, hi, her name is Elishava. She's like, hi, it's Elishava. And we're doing this, we're trying new foods, or my roommate told me that if I wanted to get better because I'm sick, that I need to try these eggs, and just making her do all these messed up things. And it's hilarious. And the personality is fantastic. I'm going to play you a little bit of her accent, right? Just so you guys get an idea.
Hi.
She has fake teeth.
Hi. It's Alishava. I'm at Cinque Terre right now. And I ate fish for lunch. So hopefully that I don't get Cinque Terre, the disease. But it's really cool. We went to the beach. A lot of pebbles in my pants.
I got the pebbles in my pants. Very funny. Last week, it was like a week or two ago, I was devastated. It came to light that the girl's actually just from Florida doing this accent. And I was like, oh, not Elishava, not the person who I've been following for months. And it hurts more because the personality itself is like a very charming person. It's like a very like innocent. It's like, oh, that's my foreign roommate. You know, like she has no idea what it's like to live in the States. And the whole idea behind it is like adapting and adopting and to the culture, to American culture, trying our foods, experiencing normal things. Hi, it's Elishava. We're going to the soccer game. But long story short, you don't have to follow, but you'll get an idea 2 videos in. And they put out merch and she's like, I'm so excited. She didn't even say excited. It was like the whole thing was like, oh, I'm so excited. We're going to watch the Panthers. Yeah, it turns out the girl's just from Florida, and it low-key kind of broke my heart. And I feel like in 2025, don't be surprised. This is maybe like the start of this whole thing. There's a lot of personalities and everybody. Like imagine if I was like, I came on, they're like, yeah, did you know Vic was actually like a monk from Asia or somewhere? And it's just like, this whole thing was fake. That would be hilarious. I always said this. I remember when I was on the radio station and I was the media, right? We're the media. The media controls what you think. The media controls what to say. And one of my most proud segments, because I think about this stupid shit, man. I was like, wait, people talk about like, this was during an election year and they're like, the media only covers this. They want you to think they're brainwashing you. And I was like, am I getting left out of these meetings? I was like, I'm part of the media. I have a radio show. I have influence. I have listeners. I was like, how come nobody's telling me what to say? How come nobody's telling me like, hey, we're going to brainwash these people and I was like, I want to be part of that. Instead, I'm out here rambling about a bunch of dumb stuff, trying to have fun and be funny. Meanwhile, everybody's like the big bad media. And I was like, I'm the media. I'm a dummy. I was like, how come I'm not invited to these things where we're talking about brainwashing the public? I want to know. I want to brainwash some people. How come I'm not invited to these things? But it but it reminded me of that. I was like, man, if the media is brainwashing, then they're controlling these things, I'm getting left out of some meetings. And I was really upset about that. Let's get into our I feel like I started that conversation for a topic, but I totally forgot about it. Anyways, let's get into our Wednesday wisdom conversation and wrap up with a little trivia. Oh, I got 4 minutes left. Okay. Wednesday wisdom. Here we go. Actually, you know what? Because I only have a little bit left. Let's do the trivia question first, and then we'll get into Wednesday wisdom because we just put up a little bit for that. All right. Late night trivia. 65% of people say that they are afraid of this household item. 65% of people say they are afraid of this household item. What is it? 65% of people say they are afraid of this household item. What is it? A garbage disposal. And it makes so much sense. There is nothing appealing about a garbage disposal. Nothing. The way it sounds, it's ugly. You're afraid to stick your hand in there for any reason. You're like, no, what if something sets that off? We've been watching too much Final Destination. Garbage disposal. All right, and let's wrap up the show with a little Wednesday wisdom. We might lose a little bit of the video, but the audio is going to be completely fine. Listen to this question, and I think it's very, going back to 2025, relevant conversations in 2025. Here we go. Hey, Vic, how do I approach a girl at the gym? We've seen each other at the gym for months now. We make eye contact and smile, and I definitely feel like we're compatible. We have similar interests in the gym, obviously. Now with all the TikToks and gym creeps, I almost am afraid to make a move, although I feel some mutual interest. Only way to find out is to take a shot. Is there a way to approach it, or should I just avoid it altogether? Get some feedback from girls. Ladies, how does a guy talk to you at the gym? Should he not? I think this is a very relevant conversation because in 2025, there's a lot of content that's shot at gyms. I don't have a problem with any of this. I'm just telling you the reality of what's going on. There's a lot of content that's shot at the gym, meaning that there's a lot of people behind the scenes that get kind of caught up and they're like, yeah, I was staring at this because I saw this video, and all these girls want to post these videos and be like, these gym creeps are just staring at me. So now it goes the other way. Now you got guys writing into the podcast saying like, I know she likes me. I know we have, and this is a good looking fella. Ladies, let me just say that. This isn't someone who would be like, oh, you'd be like, oh, you're shooting out of your league, you have no shot. These are two people, hit the gym hard, eat well, kind of live the same kind of lifestyle. I could see this working. But he's afraid to approach her because she's like, okay, well, what if he doesn't like me or whatever? It's like, is she going to post me and say, oh, what a gym creep? So ladies, we would love some feedback on that. And here's my thinking on this, because look at the reality and why this becomes a difficult situation is because let's say he's got the room read wrong. Let's say that she is a very polite girl. She smiles back. She winks back. She smiles back. She looks back. Maybe she's like, whatever. But let's say he's got it wrong. She's not interested. And he goes and he shoots a shot and says like, hey, can I take you to dinner? Hey, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's what you should do. And I'll explain why. Because if he's got the room read wrong and she has no interest in this boy, do you realize how you guys are still going to show up to the gym? You guys are both dedicated to this gym. Now she's going to feel uncomfortable. Now she's going to feel like, damn, like what, I don't want to. Is she going to change her gym time? Is she going to change the time are you going to ruin that experience for her? That would suck. And I understand that from a girl's point of view. And I would understand it from your point of view also, where it's like, yo, bro, like I was into this girl and I thought and I assumed that she was into me, but really she's being polite. And I understand that too. But here's the approach. Here's what I would say. And I do want to hear females' point of view because I'm just going to give you my point of view. For me, and I don't know if guys kind of lack this. I don't know if you guys are kind of like idiots about this, which is very, very possible. I'm going to be frank about this. I think it's very easy to tell when a girl is into you. And if it's not, here's the advantage that I feel like I have over guys. I'm a good conversationalist. I can spark a conversation about anything. So I think the approach is not to go say, "Hey, you've been doing good. I've been seeing you here. Do you want to go out and grab a drink?" No, fuck you, idiot. That'd be the dumbest thing you do. The approach is to go maybe have a little small talk. Have a, you don't want to catch her in between sets. One of my buddies, I was having a conversation about this. He brought up a subtle thing that could go a long way, which is come at them, not from behind, don't freak them out and be like, but make sure they can see you as you approach them. Now, in a weird way, I could see that working. In other ways, I could see it being like, damn, here comes this creep, automatically shuts you out. But here's the thing. I feel like if you create a small conversation, make up some bullshit, dude. Ask, hey, how many more sets? Hey, are you working on back and buys? Are you working, what is it, a push day? Is it a pull day? There are very small conversations and very like light, loose things that you can do. And I feel like guys struggle with this. That's the hard part. This is why I think guys struggle with, and girls often feel like they have, quote, gym creeps. It's simply because they don't know how to talk to them. And here's the thing. You start that small conversation and you let her dictate the conversation. Is she short? Is she cutting it? Is she putting her headphones back on? You got no shot. It's over. And that's okay because she's not going to feel any type of way. You're going to understand. You cannot be very persistent when it comes to this. You're going to have a good idea. Pay attention to her body language. Pay attention to her energy. Pay attention to all these things. And it's going to very easily guide you and tell you, hey, did you end the conversation or did it end like in a very, like, okay, cool, I'll wait. And she said, well, do you want to jump in? We can do sets between. That way we're not waiting. Is she continuing the conversation? I think it's very easy to tell. I don't think it's very complicated at all. I think if you guys have acknowledged each other, smiled at each other, looked at each other, you clearly know that that the other person exists. You're there damn near at the same time every day. So a small conversation and you let her dictate where it's going. If she continues it, she's interested. Continue it back. Keep going. But if you ask her something and she's short and she's there for business. And you got to respect that too, fellas. That's one thing that I also want to push. It's not just about like girls think everybody's script. Like, hey, look, the reality of being a girl is that there are some disadvantages. Sometimes you're being polite and that gets mistaken for, hey, I'm flirting or I'm into you. And I understand that too. That could be very uncomfortable. But I think create a small conversation. Ask her how often she comes in. Ask her what she's working on. Something subtle to where if she's short and quick, you just walk away, you continue your day, and hey, no damage done. You didn't ask her out. You didn't ask her nothing. Let her dictate the conversation. That is your Wednesday wisdom. Victor has spoken. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready to take off to Vegas to go see Coldplay. I can't believe it. Bucket list. 5 years in the making. And I could not be more excited. Follow along at Victory Radio. I'll post also on our I Love You Say It Back page. So getting ready to take off. And we got a lot of work that we got to do between now and then. But I'm excited for it. I will see you guys next Thursday. I might even take my stuff to do a quick little before and after reaction podcast. So maybe we'll do something like that. Until then, please like, subscribe, check out everything that we post. Subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Apple Music. That way you get all the notifications. It helps us push the podcast out more. So at ILY Back Pod, I'm at Victory Radio. Y'all have a great night. Sleep good. Que sueñen con los angelitos. I love you. Say it back. We love our veterans. We love our men. We love our women. We love our Pride Month. We love everybody, and everybody's welcome. Y'all have a great night. Sleep good. I love you. Say it back. See ya in Vegas.